Hi everybody, great to be back. I know I've not been around for a while, but the weather down here has been terrible. -10, -12, snow, ice, not been easy to practice golf, but that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Today I'm going to show you how I practice, and I'll be back in a moment. So, as I said, the weather down here has been dreadful. We've not been able to get out on the golf course, obviously. So really, it's just been a question of kind of working on fitness, working on mental routines. And when I'm practicing at this time of year, I've really kind of stopped thinking about my technique already. If there was anything that was bugging me at the end of last season, then I've kind of worked on that during the winter months. So particularly this season, I've been working on basically getting my early extension reduced. Now, I don't really kid myself that I'm ever going to totally get rid of that. Everybody's got a mistake, and that unfortunately is one of mine. I've been doing it since I was about 6 years old, so unfortunately at my age, it's probably not going to disappear this season. On the other hand, I know if I can kind of make my body's ability to do it without an early extension, to make a golf swing without an early extension, then that will probably help my score in the long run. However, I'm not going to think about that and don't want to think about that when I'm on the golf course. So at this time of year, really what I'm doing is I'm going to practice my pre-shot routine to actually try and drill my brain and groove my thoughts when I'm walking up to the golf ball. I want a clear picture of what I want the ball to do. I want a total conviction in myself that the ball's going to actually do that. And I don't want any swing thoughts, none whatsoever. So at this time of year, really, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to groove my thoughts, get myself into a routine, make it habit. And by the time I get on a golf course, which will probably be in a couple of weeks at the beginning of March when we go down to Morocco, then I should be able to kind of get a ball around a golf course without thinking too much about it. What I also like to do is I'm a real kind of tech freak, and I love gadgets, and the best gadget in golf is TrackMan, and I've been working with them since basically TrackMan came out, which is about 10 years ago, and I've learned so much working with that, not only about kind of ball flight laws and things of that, but about my own swing and what really works. So I'll show you some of the numbers that I look at when I'm working with TrackMan, and then I'll also show you a thing they call the Performance Center, which is what I use primarily when I'm practicing, which is basically just something which gives me a small test to kind of see how my dispersion is over different distances. So I'll hit, say, a 50-meter wedge shot, then I'll hit a 120-meter iron shot, 150-meter iron shot, a few drives, and just see what kind of dispersion. And they give you kind of little tests and a kind of a rating, so you get an idea of kind of where you are with that shot. And that's something that I'll kind of build up coming into the new season as well. So have a look, see whether you like it. Maybe you can learn something about how I do the game, or I play the game and practice the game, and you can introduce it into your game. So when I'm practicing my pre-shot routine, I'm not really talking about club choice or taking in weather conditions. That's something outside of basically this kind of drill of how I approach a golf ball. And I'm also kind of not talking about practice swings. I know a lot of people kind of build a practice swing into the pre-shot routine. If I make a practice swing, I'll do it outside of the pre-shot routine. So I'm really, after the practice shot, after all of my decision, I'll get behind the ball in the same distance every time, and then I'll go into the pre-shot routine. I don't really believe practice swings are going to help us a great deal. I don't think they help me. The fact is that if I want to learn to turn my hips better, or if I want to get new thought processes, I've got to practice them. And making a swing 30 seconds before I hit the ball isn't necessarily going to make me hit the golf ball any better. And there's no scientific proof that a practice swing helps you at all. I think a lot of it is just we've always watched the pros make practice swings, so I think if they make a practice swing, I'll make a practice swing. And now what we do is we spend most of the time watching people make practice swings, which can get pretty boring. So if you can get rid of the practice swing, or get rid of the majority of the practice swings you make, that will probably help you. Where a practice swing can help is definitely, kind of short game, but here with a long shot, either I've learned it or I haven't. So when I actually get behind the golf ball, the first thing I'm doing is kind of visualizing, or actually watching as if I can see the ball in the sky landing next to the flag. At this time of year, sometimes I'll actually kind of try and visualize my swing in the third person, just to kind of get myself a really good picture of exactly what movement I'm going to make. I believe that if I'm thinking about the golf swing correctly, if I can visualize a golf swing, then my brain must know how it works. So then once I've actually got that, I'm going to go to the golf ball and hit it without thinking about anything else whatsoever. That means although I want to take my address position and stand parallel, get the ball in the right position, stand the right distance away, get a good posture, I don't want to think about any of that. And if I ever get the kind of feeling I've been standing a bit closed, a bit open, a bit too far away, a bit too near to the golf ball, then I will practice that separately. So I won't hit any golf balls. I'll just basically address the golf ball, walk away, address the golf ball, walk away, check that I'm in the right position, and do that really a couple of hundred times until I feel I'm finding that position automatically. I don't want to be thinking about, am I standing correctly just before I hit the golf ball, because it means I've got a load of conscious thought again, which is kind of going through a checklist. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. Probably it isn't good, because I'm thinking about it. So it's a bit like driving a car. I mean, I drove here this morning and I have no idea how I did it. How many times did I touch the brake? How many times did I turn left? Who cares? I'm here. And although I want to actually kind of really concentrate about what I'm doing, I really don't want to be thinking about how I'm doing it. I want to go up there and hit the golf ball, and that takes a load of practice. And it's one of the reasons that I'm actually here today on a cold day, hitting balls out of a shed into snow. So let's see how it looks. So I get behind the golf ball. I'm around about 2.5 meters away, 2 or 3 steps, and I'm basically visualizing the thing. And now I'm also convincing myself this is going to work. I try to almost hit every ball with an inner smile. You know, it's like being happy before you actually hit the ball, rather than kind of going there with, oh, I've got to make it work, I've got to make it work, and if I make it work, then I'll be happy. But in truth, if you are putting yourself under pressure before you hit the golf ball, then it's probably not going to be a good shot. So I'm trying to take all the pressure off me by basically being quite happy before I actually hit a golf ball. I enjoy playing golf. I enjoy the movement. I enjoy the feeling of a good connection on the golf ball, of impact. And it's great to see a golf ball fly, but you know, it's not life and death. I'm not going to be shot at dawn if my ball disappears off to the right. So what I try to do is kind of visualize a success, convince myself of a success, but I don't put myself under any real pressure that it's got to be a success, and I'm only going to be happy if it is one. So yeah, enough said, let's hit a ball. After I've hit the shots, then I'll have a quick look at the TrackMan data and see if there's anything that worries me, but I'm not really too bothered about it. It's a cold day. I'm just looking for any real anomalies in the things. And if I kind of look down the list here, you know, you're looking at 78 miles an hour club speed. Normally I'm around about 82, 83 with a 7-iron. The smash is good. That means that the ball is actually being hit out of the center of the club, so I'm happy with that. Spin rate's a little low, but that's for a 7-iron. I expect it to be just under kind of 7,000 RPM. but that's probably the balls, you know, the driving range balls, so they're not up to much. Swing directions, okay, that's pretty neutral. Attack angles, neutral. The club path you see is very neutral. I'm coming kind of 1.1 degrees from the inside. Faced angle is pretty neutral. Everything's pretty good there, really. I mean, the carry could be a little bit further. I've hit it about 11 yards left of the target, 11 meters, excuse me, but really for this time of year, that's quite okay. And if I'm looking at kind of angles, face angles and paths and things like that, it all looks pretty okay. So really all I'm looking for now is just to drill that routine, and I would expect maybe the clubhead speed to improve a little bit after a few balls, but like I say, I'm not too bothered about that. And just kind of drill this in and enjoy hitting some golf balls in the fresh air. So as I said, one of the other things I love to play around with is Performance Center, and that's basically a TrackMan game where you can test different clubs over different distances. Let me show you how that works. So you can see this is the Performance Center, and here I can choose a distance. Doesn't really matter which distance I want, so I'm going to just take a short distance or hit a 50-meter pitch and see what kind of a score I'm going to get today. So you can see it's caught the first ball, and the first ball's had a carry of 47. Really the most important thing for the Performance Center is how far away am I from the pin. I'm 3.1 meters, and it gives me a score for that. Whether the score is really representative, I've no idea, but it does amazingly give you a bit of a target to shoot for. You can see what you did with the last ball, you can see what you did with the last kind of group of 5 shots, and it'll give you a score for the entire 5 shots as well. So at the end you can theoretically compare it to handicap. I don't really do that. Obviously all I'm trying to do is kind of get a hierarchy in my game and say, okay, well, I'm getting good scores on a wedge and I'm not getting such good scores on the drive, then I'll get the driver out a bit more often, and that's what I'll use it on. Let's just hit another couple. Yeah, and I think you can see there we're getting kind of quite a consistent score, a couple of up and downers. I'm really quite happy for that. So after doing that center, I'll probably take a 7-iron out and try hitting some 7-irons, maybe a couple of drives. And that's more or less all I do in the Performance Center. So as you can see, I've been out here for almost kind of 2 hours, and it's, despite the wind and the rain and the cold weather, it's really been good fun. I'm getting there with the pre-shot routine. There's still the odd strange thought kind of slipping in between. I'm really happy with the 50-meter shots on the Performance Center. I don't know what happened there. Didn't show you the drive. The drive wasn't quite that good. I might show you that next time. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see a few more like it, then please smash the like button. If you have got any comments, then leave them below. Any future videos that I could maybe do for you. Obviously, if you subscribe, you'll help the channel a lot and make it possible for me to be back a bit more often. I'm going to try and make this a regular thing now that the weather's getting a bit warmer over here. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Cheers.